We are not quite on Facebook Live. We recorded this about half an hour ago, but we are live. I want to assure you of that. And we're just going to do these question and answers. So, Sohana, what is your daily routine? Is one of the questions that came through.
So basically, I normally wake up. Sometimes dressing can start when I'm still in bed. So I mean, I just do dressings. That can take somewhere between 1.5 hours to 3 hours. But normally in the morning it takes a little shorter time. I also have in the morning, instead of a breakfast, I have this very energizing milkshake. So to get all the energy in the morning, because it's quite difficult to eat. And then pretty much. I mean, now, because obviously it's half term, so I get to have a more relaxing time than if I had to rush into school. But and then it's pretty much a normal day until I'm done with dinner, and then we do dressings again before I go to sleep.
And what do you especially like eating?
To be honest, I'll eat everything, as long as I can whiz it. But even then, when I was younger, I'd mainly just eat whiz food, but now, because I'm older, I can be more careful and eat more normal food as well. For example, my sister's making a cake today, so I'm definitely be eating that, and I won't whiz it because that would be kind of disgusting. So I'll just be eating that normally, and then before the energy, I do need to eat whiz food.
And onto that, Son, what would you like to eat that you're not really able to eat easily at the moment?
I guess the classic one would be pizza, because I can eat pizza, but it's just, it would be nice. I normally have a little slice. My sister's saying something. I can't remember. I can't. But I can't eat a whole one.
Toast, I think she's saying.
Did she take toast? Yes, I do actually. Yeah, I'd like to eat some nice toast, because it's always one of those things that smells nice in the morning.
And for people who don't know, EB can affect the internal linings of the mouth and the throat, and you might need a stretch.
Gastrostomy.
Yes, and sometimes a food
tube.
pipe, gastrostomy tube, into your tummy to help with nutrition. So that's some of the difficult things about EB.
So as a mother, how do you cope?
Well, people do ask mothers how they cope, and I think in a lot of ways we don't have a right not to cope, because our children are having to cope with so much and so much pain. But I think it is the relentlessness of the condition and the routine, dressing changes twice a day, and the worst thing is to hurt Sohana and see her in pain. That has to be the hardest thing to have to cope with. And there isn't a day that goes past that makes me think I'd rather be having the pain rather than watch her having to go through it. And worst still is to inflict the pain, to prick the blisters, to dress the wounds. And now Sohana is a little bit older, being told that it's really, really hurting and that she can't cope with that particular pain anymore. That's very, very difficult to hear as a mum.
On a lighter note, can you hug someone with EB? Yes, you can.
You can hug someone with EB, and I shall demonstrate it now.
People, I don't know why people say you can't. You can, you just can't tackle them to the ground.
Yeah.
You
just
can have a nice
gently
hug.
squeeze them, and you can have a nice hug.
Yes. What can we do to help raise awareness?
Well, what would you say to that? I mean,
I guess sharing the posts that charities make, it's very interesting to see what other people with EB are doing in life, so sharing them, supporting their work as well. I think just, again, in general as well, I think just be, maybe if you have someone with EB in your life, you're obviously going to be aware of it, but I think be aware of everyone's kind of differences and consider it in general.
And keep sharing, because despite the fact that people are living with terrible pain of EB, it's still a relatively little known condition, and it is so cruel that it really should not exist. So we need to raise awareness as much as possible, and that means sharing as much as possible.
So what's the most exciting project that you're funding?
Okay, so we are funding lots of exciting projects, a lot to do with modifying genes, but just at the moment, one of the most exciting trials we're funding is in France, where a patient's skin is taken, the cells within it are gene corrected, and then a graft is reapplied a few months later, which is gene corrected and hopefully will be a permanent patch for that area. And we are very hopeful that this will be a meaningful treatment. But please do visit the website for more information. We're taking on new projects as well, so that's really exciting stuff. So what is the hardest thing about living with EB?
Before,
That's a difficult question.
What do we need to move forward? What do we need to move forward?
No, let's do
Okay,
that.
okay. I mean, that's a difficult question. Yes, like you said. I think it's different for everyone. I think growing up is probably dealing with the pain and I guess limitations. But I feel like now I have kind of come to realize that everyone has limitations, obviously, and there's still a lot that we can do even with our limitations. And now, I guess uncertainty about the future. I feel like everyone's uncertain about the future at this moment, but in general, having something like EB, where it is a debilitating and it is also a life-threatening condition, it makes everything very uncertain. So I'd say maybe something like that.
We've been asked, what do you need to move forwards? And of course, that is funding for research. At this moment in time, the more funding we have, the more we can do. And now that we're on treatment trials, this is the time really to try and get as much funding in as possible, so that we can fund more and more work. So thank you for your questions. If you've enjoyed this and you'd like to do it again, or if you've got more questions, we'd be very happy to answer them. And please do share
Maybe even
everything.
on live.
Yes, maybe even on live. So look for more things during EB Awareness Week, and bye bye. Have a lovely week.
Bye.
Bye.